everyone, I'm Becky,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering book reviews. Today we're talking about Paris Daillencourt is About to Crumble by Alexis Hall, which I got the ebook off of NetGalley.
Same.
So this book is about Paris Daillencourt, as the title implies, and Paris is a college student or university student in London, and his roommate nominates him to be on a show called Bake Expectations, which is kind of like it's a baking show for amateur bakers, and they're looking for the best amateur baker in England. And Paris, his family, father and mother, are in fashion and are very wealthy, and they kind of have just left him to be in his own little world, isolate, almost in his own little isolation. And so I don't know why I felt like it was necessary to add that right there, but so Paris starts the show and he meets Tarek, who is another person who's trying to prove that he's the best amateur baker. And they have a really painful meet cute. And they kind of slowly develop a relationship. But Paris has got some mental and emotional issues. He's got anxiety and panic that he doesn't really know how to deal with. And it's basically about, will they be able to find romance? Will they be able to find happiness together? In addition, you also have the baking and, what's going to happen with that. Very vague what that's about.
So I was actually laughing at, I forgot to mention, I got the e-audio of this on NetGalley. So I read it and listened to it, and there were parts of the audiobook, because I listened to it more than I read it, where I was laughing out loud. I did have parts where I was laughing out loud to this book.
I didn't that was something that kind of disappointed me, because his other books have been so funny, and
I was laughing.
I don't think there were moments where I was really laughing aloud.
Yeah, I did get to the point where I was laughing aloud. Paris can be a bit much, but I get the anxiety stuff because I have my own anxiety issues, and it felt very realistic. It felt like, do I want to be trapped in my own head? No. And can it be overwhelming and annoying at times? Yes. And if you're if you're an unmedicated person with anxiety, this might be a very triggering book. But I think it was authentic.
Right. And see, I think that was one of the problems, because I mean, everybody has anxiety, but I don't have anything that's been progressive enough to be diagnosed with anything. And I just had a hard time dealing with Paris.
Yeah, it was accurate. And I'm just gonna say it's annoying. It's annoying. Living in my brain and thinking the way that Paris thinks, it can be irritating. I get that, but I also get that it was a very realistic portrayal of what it feels like to be in that anxiety spiral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do I want to live there? No. Do I live there? Yes.
And I guess I liked Tarek, and I liked their interactions, and I liked their moments, their little personal moments together. I liked the way that was written. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I enjoyed the other baking contestants. I wish I would have gotten to know, I got to know the other baking contestants fairly well and liked them, but I think I had trouble with the hosts. I kept getting them confused between participants and the hosts and stuff. So maybe developing the hosts a little bit better would have been helpful.
And maybe that's in the first book.
Oh,
because this is technically a second book, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and I guess the other facet of this, I forgot that it was a second book, but I don't necessarily know if I'd want to read again in this world.
I don't know if I would either.
There's not a character that I loved enough to want to come back.
But I think the first book, there's a line where they talk about, they say that that the show doesn't really want Paris and Tarek to be flirty, and they're well, somebody last season was like that, and people loved it. I think the other book is about those people last season, so I think a new book would be an entire, and they're definitely, if at the end it said something about the show will return in 2024.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Maybe I would if it was an entirely different cast of characters.
Yeah, because like the format's interesting and I like the idea of the show. I just like I said, I had a hard time with Paris. I think that's it. Like I think there's three responses. Like you said, it's triggering, or you totally relate to him, or you're kind of like, this is too much.
And I think for people who I think it may be hard for people who don't experience that level of anxiety to want to stay around for it because it'll feel like too much. But for the people who do experience kind of that level of anxiety, it'll be like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, because I had a hard time with it.
So,
and it was a hard time with like him and the spiraling, and like I said, and if that's what it is,
yeah,
I guess you should have a hard time with it. It should be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like I said,
know.
To me, like it's irritating. Like reading it is irritating, but experiencing it is also irritating. Like I get it. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'm expressing it as clearly as I should be. Like because I'm not. I don't know. I'm not bagging on anybody because, like I said, I experience it myself. Like, and it irritates me. Like when I do it myself. So I get like the whole self-loathing and all that kind of stuff that plays into it. And then like I've also kind of experienced kind of working. I like the fact that he like addresses it and is like working on it.
Yeah, I did like that.
The fact that it wasn't like overnight everything's fixed because that's not how it works.
No, that was done well. That was done well.
And the one technique that they talked about where you like write down your worries, like I've been told to do that before, and the whole process of him writing down the worries like was so spot on. It was eerie. Like, am I doing this right? I worry that I'm not, I'm gonna fail at this, that I'm not doing this. Like, yeah. So I get it.
So you're saying it's accurate.
Mm-hmm. Or at least from my experience, it is.
Right. Everybody's experience is different. So I don't have anything else to say. Should we just rate it?
Yep.
So our rate system starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We got 2 unicorns. If you don't like it, it's a horse. Where are you?
I'm fluctuating between a 3 and a 4. I think I'm going to go with a 4 because it did, in fact, make me laugh out loud. So I'm going to go with a 4.
So I am at a 3 because, like I said, I had a hard time with Paris, but I did like other aspects. I liked the setting. I liked the other characters. And like, I was compelled to keep reading. And I think that says something if you're compelled to keep reading it, even when you don't love the main character. Yeah. So that is where we are. Paris Daillencourt is about to crumble. And we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.